Have Lucy, Thimble, and we have Daisy joining us for today's vlog. So I have all the rats here, and by all the rats I mean all 3 babies, and by that I mean we have like 3 different cohorts of rats right now. So these are our littlest ones, which I will explain a little bit more. Hi Thimble, I see you peeking out over there. And I'm just going to kind of go through a little bit of an update because I feel like I haven't been updating a whole lot on this channel because of all the crazy things that have been happening. A year ago was kind of when it kicked off, so we got married, I graduated college, I got a job, which was all super exciting. About 6 months ago we moved into our first home, this home, which we are renting. But a lot of things have been changing because we have been told that we need to move out in a few months. Now the owners have changed. One of the people who own this place is no longer going to own the place, leaving the other person, and they have a business together, so they need to hire help for that business. Now, as part of the deal, they need that helper or that person to have a place to live, and this is the only property that they own, so unfortunately they have to take our place. They have to live here. So that has been a game changer for us because we are going through the Dave Ramsey program. We are getting rid of debt. We don't have a ton of debt, but we do have debt that spans over a few different things. Student loans. Thankfully, I don't have a student loan on top of that, but my husband has a student loan he's still finishing paying off. We just paid off our truck, which was super exciting. A few credit cards, stuff like that. So we are in a dream of a renting agreement because of the price we pay for this place, but due to the fact that it's a month-to-month lease and they need to have someone else move in, we no longer have that. So we're very unsure of where we're moving, where we're going to live. But at the same time, we're thinking, okay, how do we move and still have this game plan to get rid of debt? If you don't know Dave Ramsey is this amazing financial genius, I would say. He knows a program. He knows finances. He knows how to build a program that works for people. He went into bankruptcy when he was very young, and he got out of that. He makes millions now by teaching the Financial Peace University program. We are in our Financial Peace University program for the 3rd time at our church. So I went through it once. He was there on and off. This was before we started talking because he had worked from various different places. And he would be there some days, and some days he would be out of state. But I sat through it, and I sat through it with my sister. I was like, alright, well I don't have debt, so this is kind of pointless to me, but I'm going to sit through it. God had a plan. Then we got married, and we took it again, kind of. We sat through the first couple lessons, but it was the same DVDs being played. I was kind of bored with it, and we lost momentum after it talked about baby step number 2, which is getting rid of your debt. And I'm like, well, it's going to take us a while to do that, so let's stop watching all the rest of the videos. Now it is available for a 3rd time through the church, but there are new episodes, there are new speeches, there's more people being interviewed. He pulls in his daughter a little bit more and another person to talk about debt, and it's amazing. We are on our 3rd class now, and we love it. And it definitely has given us a new perspective. Here you go, Daisy Dukes. Yeah. It has given us a new perspective on the order of things that we are doing. So we have our $1,000 emergency saving fund, and now we're tackling the debt through a snowball effect, which is essentially pay your lowest card or your lowest debt, and then once you're done paying that, you take the minimum payment of that debt and put it onto your next debt as well as its original minimum payment. So you're paying more and more on each debt as you go up. Well, we finished our truck payment, which is a lot of money. So we are now snowballing that as well. And we're just kind of in this process, and I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, and I'm sorry, over debt, financial peace, and not being a slave to debt anymore, because we want to own land and we want to own a house. That is the dream for us, is to own a house, and we obviously need a nice down payment for that. And one of the things that came up was, do we get a house so we don't have to go through this again, being told that we need to move? part was like, yeah, that'd be great. And another part is like, that's not the Dave Ramsey program. That would be a mortgage. That would be more debt. So that's one of the things that we've been going through. The next thing is rats. So we have 9 rats. We still have Opal, our adopted, Elise, Macy, and Willow, our 3 amigos, is what I call them because they were all 3 bought together. And then we want a couple more Dumbos. So we went to the pet store. We saw Hazel and Ebony. Ebony is a Rex rat. She's like between a Rex and a regular fur hair rat. And then Hazel is a black capped rat with white on the back, kind of a lot like Lucy. Lucy's more of a gray, but Hazel's a black. This is more like, this looks like Tink. She looks just like Tink. So there's Hazel, who is very skittish, very scared. We're still working on getting her used to us. And then there was Ebony, who's a full gray Rex rat, and they're both Dumbos. And then we went to the pet store again because my husband wanted to go to the pet store. We were frustrated with something, I can't remember. And we have this thing where if we get frustrated, we go to our happy place, and our happy place is the pet store. We just had like this incredible heart-to-heart, and my camera stopped recording after talking about Ebony and Hazel. So I don't know how far I got through with that. So we got those 2 rats. And then we went to the pet store again. My husband was upset over something, whether it was work or friends. And essentially what happens is when we are upset, we go to our happy place, and our happy place is the pet store. Now, I was like, just so you know, if we go to this place, we're going to walk away with rats. He goes, I know. Now me, I was like, we're not going to buy rats. There's not going to be anything we want. Well, when I walked in, there was Miss Daisy. And I was like, oh, she's pretty cute. Yeah, she's alright. But what I was sold on was Miss Winnie, who was this tiny rat that looked just like Alice. She had the same marking as Alice, but she was a rat that turned more of a fawn color. She wasn't entirely the same coloring as Alice. So we bought them, because how could you say no to your first heart rat and a rat that looks just like your first heart rat? And unfortunately, a week and a half after having them, Winnie passed away. She wasn't doing very well. We called the vet. We had the same antibiotics that they were going to give us, that we got through that vet, and they weren't working. We think she passed away from megacolon. Now, we tried a different diet, and it didn't work. And for her, I think it was just caught too late, even though she was so young. And there was a listing for baby rats, because Daisy is the size of this. Our other girls are like that big. So we can't safely put her in with that size rat. So, whoop, you jump in. So we found in this tank of lots of rats, who is actually a same breeder who gives rats to the same store that we go to. We found Miss Lucy, who is a sweet, sweet, fast rat. She is adorable, soft, but she is fast. She wants to be on the move. She's friendly. She just wants to be on the move. She has a marking on her butt, which I think is super cute. And that brought in, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to do this again because we have to re-record. That's not you. Well, Thimbleberry. She's still young. She's still very little, so she's not comfortable being held and being out. Miss Thimble, who I call Miss Thimbleberry now that I found out there is something called Thimbleberry. Because we have Daisy Dukes and we have Lucy Goosey. Now we have Thimbleberry, who is a beautiful, beautiful blue rat with Dumbo ears, and actually has the same marking that Miss Winnie and Alice had. And she loves to play with her sisters. Lucy loves her sister Daisy, but this girl right here like antagonizes the other 2 girls. She jumps on them. She wants to cause the mischief. It is adorable. And as you can see, she's like really, really small. I hope this is recording because I don't know if I can do this 3 times, guys. So that brings us to 9 rats. I don't remember where I went after talking about the 9 rats, but let me just go into where that brings us today. It brings us into, I'm going to have to check because I think my husband Nope, he might be coming home soon for lunch. So, brings us to 9 rats today. It brings us to being told we have to move. It brings us to figuring out our debt. We anticipate we'll be debt-free within a year, which is really cool and really exciting, but there's been some hard conversation with it too. I mean, there's been regret of debt coming in from the past. Now that we're a couple and we're married, none of this debt is from us, except for we had to go to the dentist, but that's going to get paid off really quick. Neither of our work offers dental insurance, so that's out of pocket. But most of this debt wasn't from us, it was from the past. And so that was kind of hard to work through. But we're trying to be more positive at it and be realizing that God has a story to share through this. There's a testimony. And most people don't talk about debt. Most people don't talk about this kind of stuff. In fact, they do the opposite. I'm watching YouTube a lot lately. I have this week off, and people feed you, well, this is what I got. Here's this haul. Here, shop with me at this store. Quick, easy budget for remakeover. All this stuff requires buy. Buy this, buy that, buy that. We have a different philosophy now. Yeah, I still like showing you guys like the rat hauls. I think those are cool. But at the same time, I'm not going to feed you, here's this new product I got from so-and-so company. They're sponsoring me. I think you should buy their product. Now, the only exception is Betty's Box of Blessings, which is an amazing, lovely, wonderful, wonderful company that shows amazing Christian products to help you grow in your faith. And I only say that because I've seen how these items have actually helped us and helped strengthen our faith as a couple and strengthen others. And the really cool thing is, because of Betty's Box of Blessings, I haven't told them this yet, and I'm not going to get to it in full, but my church has been inspired to make free boxes for women that include a book and a few other items for the women who can't buy this stuff. And I'm actually supplying some of the stuff from Betty's Box each month that I'm getting into these boxes, which is super, super cool. That's a small little tangent, which if you're watching Betty's Box, I'll tell you more about that in an email and a testimony, which is really, really neat. But the world screams, buy me, and in order to buy me, get a credit card and be in debt. The world and business feeds off of your debt. That's why whenever you go to TJ Maxx, sign up for a credit card. In fact, I saw this sign which disgusted me. If we do not meet the credit card quota for the day or for the hour, there will be management up front until you do meet that quota. That sickens me because I'm always the person that says, no thank you, no credit card. And yet, here these people are being forced to sell you a credit card. I mean, it's a free credit card, but that's how they make their money, is by you going into debt. And these coworkers, these young workers who work together are being told by management, we're being told by the whole company as a whole, that we make money off of credit cards. You need to sell credit cards. So, here we are at our story. So that's the sound of my husband's truck. He's going back to work. We just had lunch. So for the second time, let me kind of catch up to where I was. Talking about buying and how much this society, this world pushes buying and profits from your debt. It's incredible. It's phenomenal in such a bad way. You can do payments on bills and medical bills. You can, something I don't even fathom or understand, you can have a payment plan for a couch for 4 to 5 years. If I can't buy a couch cash, I don't want to be a slave to that couch for 4 or 5 years. So I'm just seeing all these people push you to buy things. At the cost of what? Living your life to debt, being slave to the lender, which means you have to first figure out who you need to pay money to before you can start bringing that money into yourself. So my husband and I have a budget. We use the every dollar budget, It's a free app from Dave Ramsey where you can literally plan out your entire month's budget. And we looked at how much is going to debt. It's a lot. It's a lot of money that if we weren't paying to debt, it would be going to savings for a down payment on a house. We can technically live off of one of our incomes alone without the debt. The idea of your past is now affecting where you are right now. We paid for our wedding in cash. We had a low budget wedding. It was phenomenal. It was amazing. I told the whole story of our marriage and how we met, and it got deleted because the video stopped recording. So really quickly, I'm going to go over it again. It was really quick the first time, so it'll be really quick again. I want to do a longer video on this. It's kind of up to whether or not Ernie joins me or not. I'd love to have him join me to explain how we met and how we got married and all this fun stuff. But if not, I'll do it. So essentially, we went to the same church. He's been at that church for years. He's kind of like friend, family of members of the church and of the pastor of the church. I attended after a friend had asked me to, and I really loved it. Then there was the Financial Peace University where I went to, but in January of last year, which was really hard for me, I was asked to be the mentor or a mentor of the youth group. Now, Ernie was also the mentor of the youth group, which there's an age difference between us. He's older. So to some people it might be like, that's a little old to be a mentor, but he has a lot of wisdom and he's actually kind of young at heart, which is amazing. He works really well with youth and mentorship, especially for men, and teaching them how to be like gentlemen and just having a good attitude. He's amazing with that. So I kind of looked at him at youth group. I was like, interesting he's here, but I didn't think much of it. Then we started talking over Facebook, and it was kind of just like, let's talk about God. And we ran with it. We talked about God, we talked about Jesus all the time. And then one day we spent from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. talking about Jesus and God in our lives. And we were starting to realize that we clicked and that we had a lot of similar paths and desires. Like, he had the same desire for family that I had. And the more that we talked, the more God was speaking into us, like, you guys are going to be together, you're a couple. And I'm over here like, he's too old for me. Nope. And he was like, she's too young for me. Nope. So we were both like, nope, God, you're wrong. Well, when we do that, God's like, listen to me, child. And thanks to some friends pushing him to realize that he liked me, and me being like, I'm not interested in some of these other guys that the church may be telling me to like check out, and I just feel like they're not the right ones. It's me kind of hinting at like, I kind of like you. So we started dating for a month. The best time of my life, staying up way too late in his truck and falling asleep at church reading our Bible together, cooking meals there so that we were in a common space. It was amazing. And we didn't want to end. So we got engaged. We paid cash for the rings. We paid for my wedding dress cash. I had the wedding dress before he asked me to marry him. But just our communication, everything from the start. I was fully honest with my life and my past and my struggles and where I was. He was fully honest with his life, his past, his struggles, where he was. So we were engaged for a month, and then we were married. And then 6 months from then, we moved into this place. And then 6 months looking now, we're asked to move out. We have an incredible love story, and I love that testimony. But God just spoke to me and said, if I can make that testimony out of your marriage, think about what I can make for a testimony out of your moving. And if you're anything like me and you listen to people on YouTube or you listen to others who are saying, God spoke to me in this way, you're like, okay, sure he did. Because speaking to God and God speaking to you is not like an actual audible thing. I don't hear God saying, blah, 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 this is going to be a testimony. It's more like in my heart, I feel testimony. Like I feel the word testimony. And then in the Bible, there's some verse that I read that says testimony. So I've had this sitting with me for several months. It's a guided faith journal that I haven't used, and I've been wanting to use it because it's by the same company that makes just beautiful scripture pages, like journaling pages. I love the colors on the back. And the verse that spoke to me was this: and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. Revelation 12:11. Testimony. Like, there's a story here. And I was thinking about YouTube and why I'm even filming a video and why I've been away from YouTube. It's like, what's my purpose on YouTube? A lot of YouTubers are there for entertainment. And I suppose part of this is honestly entertainment. I find joy by being able to relate to other people who are sharing their stories. And I think for me, my purpose is I want to share my story. I want to share a story that isn't told very often. The story of getting married young, finding out that when we moved in, we now have to move somewhere else, struggling and trying really hard to get out of debt, living with these cute fuzzballs that people think are pests. And they are the sweetest. Can we kiss? No? They are the sweetest. She will get kisses. She will give little chin kisses. She'll give all kinds of kisses. They're not pests. We even had a wild rat in our house because they were attracted. They were already here. This female was already here. She was attracted to our rats because there was rat food. I didn't kill that rat. I brought her to a safe place that she could be a wild rat in a wild location. I even provided some of the baby food for her. I was like, here you go, have some baby rat food. They're not pests. They're lovely. I want to tell a story that isn't often told. I want to tell the story of you don't need to be in debt to live. You don't need to buy all this stuff to live. You can find joy in what you have. KonMari is an amazing decluttering and finding joy in what you have, and I love that. But the question is, what comes after that? Because if you look in my room, and I've done the KonMari method before, but I haven't done it now that we've been married, my wardrobe is very simplified, but there's stuff on this ottoman over here, this bench. There's sheets that I've thrown off the bed. On the dresser, there's a Bible and emergency verses and a 3-year long question thing that my husband and I do. Socks and puffs for the baby rats. There's a cage right there. There's sheets over there. My camera bag, my rat carrier. There's cups and all kinds of stuff over here. The living room and kitchen are a mess because 1, we've been upset that we've had to move, and 2, I haven't been feeling well, and 3, wow, clutter happens fast. But I think the question is, what's meaningful to you in your life? Is it okay to have clutter sometimes? Does that mean you're going and continually buying stuff? Are you finding joy? Are you finding longevity in what you have? How can you find longevity in things? Can you keep this journal and make use of it? Can you find joy in the clothes that you have right now instead of buying a whole new set of stuff? It's so amazing that we're getting rid of things that don't bring us joy, but at the same time, the question is, can we find contentment in things in the long term instead of buying something new and hoping that that fills the void of everything we just purged of? I'm kind of all over the place. I think what I just mean to say is I want to tell a story, and I don't entirely understand that story and know what it is, but I do know that I'm living it, and it involves debt. It involves getting out of debt. It involves moving, being a first-time renter and mover. It involves being a young married person. It involves rats. It involves clutter. It involves a lot of unknown. It involves me being a teacher. All kinds of things. So I think I've been kind of hesitant to be on YouTube because 1, I didn't quite know what my purpose was with this YouTube channel. I know my tagline is bliss in a simple life, and I so wholeheartedly believe in that. I believe we don't need crazy things to be happy, and I believe, in fact, the world is feeding us a lie that we need all these crazy things to be happy. In order to get all these crazy things, we need debt. And we need to keep up with the Joneses so the Joneses can keep up with the other Joneses so that everybody can have what they say is bringing us joy. But it's not. Faith brings me joy, and my husband brings me joy, and these fuzzballs bring me joy. So I just want to share that story with you. And I think another reason is, as a teacher and watching all these young minds watching YouTube, they take it on and they feed it on, and part of me is like, Where's the professionalism of me having a YouTube channel, me being a teacher, not combining the two? Because for me, I don't want my students watching my channel. I feel like my channel is targeted towards, I don't want to say older, but I think my channel is targeted towards those who are coming into adulthood and who are understanding adulthood and walking through these things. It's not targeted towards the young minds who are taking in so much from YouTube. So that's part of it as well. But I want to know my purpose here, and I really hope you find some sort of joy in, not necessarily advice. I don't think I necessarily want to give you advice, but I think I want you to be able to relate to my story and to just show the humanness of it. To not be like, hey guys, what's up? Blah, 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 I'm gonna do this crazy thing. That's great and that's cool for entertainment purposes. But for me, I just want to share a story. And I want to share with you that I can find contentment in my faith and in very simple things. And I think you can too. So this is a weird update. It's an update of, we're getting out of debt. We're being told to move out. We have 9 baby rats now. We're still doing the minimalism and decluttering, but at the same time, instead of thinking about donating items, we're also kind of like, shoot, should we be doing a yard sale when this weather doesn't turn crazy like it is right now? Like, should we be doing a yard sale to save up even pennies of items so we can get rid of the debt that much faster so we can get a house? And I think for me also, a lot of people don't talk about debt. And debt is so normalized that it's like, yeah, we don't even need to talk about having a mortgage, or we don't even need to talk about having a car payment or having a credit card payment or going to TJ Maxx and having a credit card there. I just cut up my credit card. The one credit card I had, which had a $300 limit, I cut it up. I'm done with it. We paid it off. And to me, it's like, well, yeah, we paid it off. It's a $300 credit card. Like, I never put very much on it. That was the point of it. But at the same time, it's like, okay, now we don't have the opportunity to use that credit card. We have the opportunity to use cash. And my husband cut up a credit card. And that was so exciting. And I think part of the thing that was exciting for me is it had my maiden name on it, the other credit card. So it was like, goodbye maiden name, goodbye potential for debt. It felt good. And I love going to those little classes at my church too. Daisy is such a friendly girl. She is a sweet. My husband says butterball because she got a little bit of a belly. See, I told you she's sweet. She gave me kisses. I kind of think that this video is just becoming me saying everything I've been wanting to say but haven't been saying it because I've kind of been deciding what the purpose of the channel was and deciding if this is even my story to tell. Well, God gave me a beautiful camera from my husband, and God gave me a YouTube channel from like 6 years ago, and as the channel's growing, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, let's share this story and see what happens. Because again, I don't necessarily want to give you advice. I just want to say, here's where I am and maybe you can relate to it too. And I hope you're not thinking, I need to keep up with the Joneses through me, because I look at some of my Instagram people that I do follow, and in fact I've unfollowed because whenever I look at their Instagram pages, I'm like, I really like what they have. I really like how they're portraying themselves. How can I be more like that? And to a degree, that's not bad. But I also want to find my own style, and I want to be my own unique self. God created us each differently. And so yeah, we can admire them, but I don't want us to admire someone so much that I'm like, I need to build my life around who this person is so I can be more like that person. Be yourself. Yourself is beautiful. On that note, I have no clue if I've covered everything that I covered in the initial filming of this video, and I hope you're still recording. But comment below and share maybe something about your story and where you are at. It doesn't have to be in relation to debt or rats or anything. Just share something about yourself and your story. Or comment how you can relate to or what you like about this channel. I'm really interested in that, and I don't care if it's I can really relate to your baby rats in your rat life, or I can really relate to your minimalism, or I can really relate to your faith. You don't have to relate to every part of my life. You don't have to be a Christian to watch this channel. You don't have to have rats to watch this channel. And you certainly don't have to be a minimalist, because I'm not, to watch this channel. You don't even have to be married to watch this channel. There are a lot of little things that could define who I am, or me being a teacher, that define who I am, that they don't have to define you. And I think that's something I've had to understand as I'm watching other people. None of that stuff that defines them has to define me. So just share part of your story. I hope this was helpful or unique, or gave you an idea of who I am and some of the stuff I'm going through and things that I'm growing in, because I do believe that God has a testimony for me and there's growth involved, like a lot of things I don't know or understand. Let me know. On that note, I'm going to try to edit 3 different video clips together to make it seem like it's one continuous, nice vlog, which is not going to happen. And Daisy is in my hair. I will do a video showing you the setup that we have for our baby rats, because there's 2 Critter Nation cages and a rat manor going on right now to keep everybody separate, because our big girls are still kind of nervous and scared because of that wild rat that came in. They actually got rat bites from that wild rat, which was super sad and kind of scary. I have a Betty's box of blessings to unbox too that I really want to do, because I am so excited for what is happening with that movement, especially at my church, and how it's blessing other women. I'm so excited for that. And then if there's anything else, I mean, yes, I still want to do that marriage video. I want to take questions about marriage and about getting married and all that as well. Any other videos that you want to suggest, definitely suggest. Here's my rambling video. I don't know what we're going to call it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to. Like it if you want to. Personally, I don't care how many likes there are, but I do like seeing likes. Yeah. You want to say goodbye, Daisy Dukes? Say bye, Daisy. Bye, Daisy. Bye-bye.